So I think geography is a destiny, because geography is not just only the memorizing the place in the map, but with the geography we can understand all the complexity on our world system. I think as a geography, the tool of the knowledge of the world and even the connection at different sciences. For example, to see the first map, what is the focus of the map of the science in the 21st century? We can, looks like in a spiral, natural sciences, the social sciences, economics, engineering studies, and including of the geography. If we are focusing the map, we can see how is the geography in interdisciplinary science the factor. For example, including of the people, the nature, the society, the architecture, environmentally issues, economic issues, politically, structure and geographic environment. So I think it's a very complex system, and the geography, you know, it can much more understand all the connection in the drivers in the 21st century. 1 year ago, when is the geofusion is realized, the Get Abstracts Know About My book is written, is where you work, where you live, is geography still matter. So we are living of the new world order, and I think of the geography is getting in more and more important. But if you want to understand all the geographic system of our Earth in the 21st century, we should redraw or the maps. So it's very interesting. 1 year ago, I made a TEDx speech. It was the titles, The Map, What is the Change the World? So I want to show some interesting maps. If you're looking of the 21st century, the political world maps, we can recognize almost 200 countries, 3 main oceans, 5 main continents, and the 6 different color, what is the delivery of the different country. But I think of the world is much more complex. Sometimes we've said we are living of the multipolar world order. For example, if we are focusing of the world population and the focusing of the world GDP, we can recognize that the 3 main dots, the United States, Europe, and even the growths of the Asia, how it will born in the, how it will be the more and more important in our decade. If, for example, the check of the other maps is the Global 2000 company, we can see about the rise of the Asia countries too, and even about the GDP map of the world, we can recognize as China, India, Indonesia, Japan, and other Asian countries getting is more and more important. The second issues, what I think of the new maps of the 21st century, we can recognize in our world map is getting is more connection. So this map we can see, for example, the different, the commercial connection all across the world. And about the geopolitical issues is always talking about the global system, the regional powers, and the gateway cities. So I think of the multipolar world system where is the Asia and Eurasia, the China, United States, like the G2 global power countries, and the regional powers like India, Russia, Japan, South Korea, Australia, Brazil, Argentina, and other European countries, Germany, Great Britain, and France. But I think is the most important things is my opinion about the gateway region. So the gateway region, we can say it, for example, the Asian countries, the Central Asian countries, and or region, the Central and Eastern European countries, including of the Visegrad 4 countries, Hungary, Poland, Slovakia, and Czech Republic, is getting in more and more important. And even in the focus of the future, we can see of the new Eurasian supercontinent starting. So I think of the new decade, it will be the decade of the Eurasia. Or to see, for example, the other perspective is very important. Where is the north and where is the south? What is the difference between the south part and the north part in the world map? I think there is a border, the invisible border in the world map. It's called the Eurasian range. So in the north, the Eurasian the range, we can speak about the logistical centers, the infrastructure development, pipelines across to the Eurasian continent. And the south part of the south to the Eurasian range, we can see the peninsulas, and much more focusing is like a yin-yang geopolitics, hard and soft, hardware and software, energy and the finance system and the services. So I think for a south part is most focusing of the intellectual education, culture, technology, and even the connection across to the new financial system. So other perspective, what is very interesting is always the question, where is the center of the map? So now the map is always of the Europe in the center of the map, but if you see the different perspective of the world map, the same world map, for example, by the Asian perspective, we can see, of course, is by the different picture. And the fourth point, I think we are living of the age of fusion and the age of networks. So for example, I want to show for two maps. The first map is showing of the international science collaboration between 2005 and 2009. So we can recognize in the map of the United States, Europe, and Japan is like the shiny dots in the world map. But if you see the same map after 10 years, so between 2015 and 2019, we can recognize that our world's getting is more connected. So it's like network, the collaboration, the science collaboration, the collaboration between the university is getting much more complex and much more connectivity of the world system. And the same, for example, of the airplane pattern, we can see of the same, the complexity and the connectivity and the different region is getting in more and more important. Or for example, if you're focusing of the 2 billion people the using of the Facebook connection map, we can see of the new maps in the 21st century too. And even I think is very important if the focusing for the sustainability and the biology diversity, we can see the earthing, the burst of the earthing between the January and December. So it means it's like a gross primary biology productivity of the Earth system. So I think of the new world map in the 21st century or geofusion decade. We can say it's that our map is more not static anymore, but it's getting of the pulsing and the sea of the different perspectives. So yes, this is the book, is Geofusion 2.0, about the subtitle as it's all about the future is Eurasian for the power of geographical world system. So as I told, we are living of the age of fusion and networks. And if you see, for example, of the maps about the connection, I think of the 21st century, the three main passwords are complexity, connectivity, and sustainability. The geofusion, it's mean the complexity, connectivity, and the sustainability together. As we are living of the age of networks, the geofusion, the networks of geopolitics, and the geopolitics of the network is a new world system. About the connection, Parakana, is 4 years ago, they wrote a book, is called Connectography. It means the connectivity and the geographies together, how can we interpret it of the new view of the world. If the focusing of the world map, we can see, for example, the submarine cable, the main maritime routes in the world map. As we can see, we have a 5,000 kilometer border, 1 million kilometer internet cable under the sea, 2 million kilometer pipeline, 4 million kilometer tram line, and 64 million kilometer highway across the world. What is the main is more complex and more connectivity centers. And if you are focused of the commercial flights map in the world and focusing in the global cities and the hubs in the centers and make it the fusion together, we can redraw of the map, the geofusion map of the 21st century's world. So it's including of the highways pattern, about the global city center, the hub center, international and sea routes. So it's all the connectivity and all complexity of the world system. So if you focus on the world map, we can recognizing of the geopolitical forces area is the is the main Eurasian supercontinent. So Europe and Asia start for a connection, even by the Belt and Road initiatives, which is started 7 years ago, is getting a more connection. And there is in North America and in the south, the 3 point in South America, Africa, and Australia. Its field for the future is much more important. If you're the focus of the geofusion, we can see for all the connection. But if you want to understand the main global cities in the world, we can find these very special maps that make for the main bonds and the cities working like a blood arteria in one fragile system. This is like a world map. So we can find about how is the Eurasian continent and how is the Eurasian start borning is getting is more and more connection by the future. So it's very interesting and very grateful. Those people is geopolitical superstars, a geopolitical thinker, geostrategic thinkers is wrote about, this is a sentence of my book. And for example, Nicholas Bergman is author of the book Navigation of the Tech Storm, is wrote about the state of the world all told eyes by the geographer. So it's very important. Hungarian Geography Society is wrote about the hitchhiker guide of the future. And Parakana, the author of the book of Connectography and the Future of Asian, one of the best geopolitical strategic thinker, we're working is together. So I'm very glad when I've been in Singapore, he published as my book, they organized of the publish the book events, and he wrote about the complexity of the world today, our ties of the intersection from the geopolitics and globalization, geography and the connectivity. And of course is a Hungarian origin. Barabási Albert László is the wrote about today network outpaced and the change real consequences. The geofusion tell us how is the things about the role of distance, well is the still matters. And of course is a Hungarian born origin. George Friedman is wrote as geofusion is addressing of economic sphere realized geopolitics is the range of social and technical revolution, and the world is a many dimensions. So I think is the important of the geography, the geopolitics, the global economy, the current affairs is make is one fusion, so one big pictures of the focusing of the past, present and the futures towards. I'm very glad that Ken is an Indian origin in Toronto-based geopolitical thinker and technological thinker, Abhishek Prakash. He's a member of the advisory board of the Budapest Center for Long-Term Sustainability, and we published the books by the Pallas Athénée book publishing, The New Geopolitics and Artificial Intelligence and Geopolitics Together. So is Abhishek that wrote about the book about the bridge connection between the past, the present, of the future, and the geofusion, showing how the geopolitics and technology can work together to the future if you want to understand the world system for the next decades. I think of the main password, 3 main passwords. If the 21st century, it will the connectivity, complexity, and sustainability. If the focus of the geofusion map of the 21st century, we can see all the pictures. When I finished my book end of January, the year 2020, and after 2 weeks of the new global pandemic, the COVID-19 is just starting. After I realized, for example, the spreading of the virus is starting of Asia, continued to the Europe, and after the American continents, and today all across the world. And after is realizing of the spreading of the virus is the same, is like the spreading of the airplane, the commercial airplane connection, because the virus is following of the same patterns what the 21st century economics patterns, and the moving is real the following. So it's very interesting. I think the sustainability getting is more and more important. I think the COVID-19 not changed the world, but the world New World Order, what is starting 7 years ago, is a mega trend, is getting more and more stronger than it is before. We recognize, for example, the digital education, the home office, about the flexibility, the job, the system, the technology, the differences, the Zoom and the Teams, so across the digitalization is getting, for example, the artificial intelligence getting more and more important, the robotization is getting more important, the role the nation is getting is more important, the family, safety, and even, for example, the sustainability. I remember in the May 2020, where you see the maps about nitrogen and CO2 in the different cities, so the air pollution is getting more clean. So it's, I think, is only 3 months is getting more safe or world by environment issues like the global activists make it before. So I think that in the future, as new decade is really the new world order, it will focus of the sustainability. Because we had to realize, and after the post-COVID era, we have is only one Earth. Between 70 years ago, the start of the new geological era, what is called is Anthropocene. So it means of the human population and all the progress, all the growing is getting is the rapid growth than in the histories before, the climate changing. So we can find of this pots and even the 20 different hotspots in the world, what is getting the fragile and is more important. And after the COVID is realized is we have to thinking about the sustainability, we have to take care of our earth. So it means for the new challenges, the geopolitics and technologies will changing. And I'm sure that in the next years and the next decade, the sustainability will be on the focus. So the idea and mission of the create of the concept to give good answer for sustainability. So this is occasion on the post-pandemic era. In this year, in the middle of the year, Pallas Athénée Domus Meriti Foundation and the John Nyman University together of the making of the new center, the knowledge center, what is the main? The Budapest Center for the Long-Term Sustainability. And the Budapest Center Long-Term Sustainability is a knowledge center, is the invite of the international experts, researchers, writers, professors, all around the world who is give for the good solutions, how we find it together to the answer of to the future can be the more sustainability. I think the future, it's the long-term, the life-based evidence and sustainability, the era is coming for this next period. So we have is a special research program of the 6 different areas: the green finance, the green economy, the green technology and geopolitics, social the activities and events by the natural resources, and the fusion of the 6 different the period. We have want to continue of the international dialogue across to the sustainability, and the Budapest Center for Long-Term Sustainability of the professional global hub is commitment of the long-term sustainability and explore sustainability solutions of the common the future of the earth. I'm very glad that can I be the chair of the advisory board of the Budapest Center for Long-Term Sustainability. The main mission, I think of the Hungarian mission, how is the renewal of the world. 100 years ago, in atomic age, the spice age, the information in the IT age, the 2001, the Natural magazine wrote is the 20th century is written in Budapest and in Hungary. And I think after this a new period of the new sustainable era can born again here in Hungary. And this is the occasion that we are invite of the international people all around the world, from Singapore, South Korea, China, India, United States, United Kingdom, and all over the different places of the world. Because Hungary is a very a good perspective country in the future. If they see of the different competitiveness, we always say, for example, the Olympic winner, the Nobel Prize winner, about the economic complexity, the long-term complexity, Hungary is always in the forefront of the world. So I think for the future about the sustainability can be the born in here in Budapest, Hungary is a good solution. And I think is the institution, the Budapest Center of the long-term sustainability, will be the good local point, the meeting point, the hub of this new knowledge.